Well, start off my videos for tomorrow morning. Someone sent me an email with a WebBot hit just as recently as the May WebBot report, although this has been in other reports. It was definitely in last month's report, which, again, I realize we're in May right this second, but tomorrow's June 1st. Go back a few days, we're back in May. Anyways, May 31st, 2016, this article is written. Lake Riesco mysteriously disappears overnight in Patagonia, Chile. Was it swallowed by the Liquine Fault? Pictures and videos show that most of the 1,400 hectares of Lake Riesco have disappeared overnight near Aysén, Patagonia, Chile. Chile. Nobody knows what's happening over there. The lack of information from any official teams increases the mystery. Is it a sinkhole? Is it a geological fault? Or a lack of rain? But it literally had water the day before. And then overnight, it's to walk out there, dry lake bed. Notice the first thing he asks. Is it a sinkhole, geological fault, or lack of rain? So, I'd like to read you page 8 of 31, May 2016 WebBot report, Alta report. I just opened it up as a PDF as it is and searched for the word lake and found an interesting thing right away. I'll start with the paragraph before and after. So I'll read before what it says in the main paragraph, then one more paragraph just to see what it's saying about sinkholes in general. We need to note that the sinkhole sets or data sets are also very clear that this is early days yet, and we will need to watch the formation and appearance of the sinkholes over the next 14 years to get a real idea of the new shape of Earth. And in parentheses, he puts continents. Other new sinkhole sets include subsea formations that will be video recorded. These subsea or underwater, and he says additional note, some suggesting sets for freshwater sinkholes in very deep lakes. Manifestations are described as including flow holes wherein the water will rush into the sinkhole only to be blasted out by the heat/pressures encountered deep in the bottom. Some of the sinkhole supporting sets include aspects/attributes for funneling of water out to distance, as in the idea of sinkholes that will bring salt water far inland. Other growth shows that sinkholes are also related to atmospheric phenomenon, at least temporally, and will be increasingly dominant in weather/climate reports over these next decades. So I'm actually going to close that and go back to where we are right here. Lake, perfectly fine. Next day, completely gone. First question this guy asked, was it a sinkhole? WebBot report, interesting. WebBot report came out last month, early in May. This article is posted May 31st, which is right now today, as I'm doing this tonight actually. Lake Riesco, or Lago Riesco in Spanish, has almost completely disappeared from the maps, and nobody knows why. This lake is or was located 27 kilometers from Puerto Aysén in the Chilean Patagonia. This video from Miriam Henriquez, a resident of Aysén, shows shocking and dramatic pictures of the desiccated and drying lake. Let me switch over for you for your viewing pleasure. Let's see if we can't take a little peek at that and see what happens here. They're actually driving on the lake. What was there? we can turn that down. I'm not sure if that'll help you guys. Oh. Got some Spanistas doing donuts out there. You seen that? Spanistas. What are you doing donuts out there in a dry lake bed? There was just water there. It's gone. And this is crazy. You cannot have water there one day and, oh my God, it's gone the next. If there was a dam nearby and, so, well, we didn't do it, you could still question, yeah, I think you did. You opened the floodgates open and the water went out, and now you're saying you didn't. You could at least argue that possibility. Not here. Not possible. This fault, he says, the monumental Lequien Ofque fault is a major geological fault that extends over 1,200 kilometers along the south of Chile from the area of the Lequien in Valdivia to the Gulf of Pinas. Not penis, Pinas. This major geological fault runs from north to south on one of the lake shores and thus may have drained a large volume of lake water. In this case, there will be important manifestations of this change. This was the case in Iceland when a lake disappeared along a large fault and reappeared years later. The region around Lake Riesco has a temperate maritime climate with annual rainfall of the order of 3,000 millimeters. The other cause of the mysterious water disappearance could be related to a decrease of this rainfall due to the extreme El Nino phenomenon. Finally, a sinkhole or giant crack formed in the middle of the lake could be another origin for the drainage of the lake. In China, a sinkhole has swallowed a pond and 25 tons of fish, and in Mexico, where the Atoyac River disappeared overnight. I didn't actually hear about that one, and he has a link to it. So this would fit right in as well. This was actually from March 3rd. So this is right around the time WebBot was getting ready to be released. In either case, Atoyac River disappears overnight after giant crack opens in Mexico. This river, which crosses 8 municipalities in the central mountainous area of eastern Mexican state of Veracruz, disappeared overnight after a giant crack opened up. Inhabitants of Rancho San Fermin reported hearing a bang and feeling the earth rumble as the ground cracked down. On Monday, the water had disappeared, and they found this giant 30-meter by 20-meter fissure in the ground. The hole in the ground crosses the riverbed of this river. It appeared about 3 kilometers from the source of the river, which supplies with water more than 10,000 families and sugar industries in the region. Due to the disappearance of the river, the Cotaxla River is already below its normal level. Only God and nature know exactly why the river disappeared entirely. They have exploited the river, and it is charging them back. So I think that's his way of saying, you guys have abused the river, you've taken too much from it, resources, and now this is payback. Again, that's kind of in line with religion, nonsense belief, because no, we have science today that tells us, just like that, a crack opened up in the ground, as Cliff High calls it, expando planet theory, expanding Earth. And as it expands, things crack. So we have a river that has done this in Mexico. We just now had a freaking sizable lake that was there, and pretty much overnight it was gone. And no, it's not going to evaporate overnight, right? We know that. These are things the WebBot said to look out for. This is what the report says is coming. And as it also said, this is just the beginning of this kind of stuff. So not only are we going to have to deal with economic problems, job losses, pension crap, people's pensions being destroyed, housing market crash 2.0 coming, stock market crash obviously coming, Deutsche Bank, as I've said recently, appears to be the dead man walking that's going to take the fall for the rest of the banks. All these issues. And then we got planet Earth to deal with, which can throw a huge monkey wrench in anybody's plans, including the powers that be. So it remains to be seen what comes of this, but this is a Webbot hit, and I'm reporting it. Take care.